Sunrise Daily, and we'll be going ahead to speak with the Commissioner of Education in Ogun State, Commissioner of Education, Science and Technology, actually. There's this matter that's been going on in the state for some time now where the Olabisi Onabanjo University has been shut down. The Commissioner will just shed some light on that. Morning, and thank you for joining us, Mr. Segun Odubela. Now, tell us about this argument going on back and forth. The students are protesting. Well, they say that they do not like the way that the state government is handling the school fees matter in that school and such. I mean, in addition to that, the school being closed. What's going on? What's the bone of contention here?
Well, some time ago, some months back, His Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikule Amosun, consulted a committee that we should go and look at possibilities of reducing the school fees across all the 10 tertiary institutions publicly owned by the state government. In other words, we have about 10 tertiary institutions. So, of course, as stakeholders, we called all the student union leaders with their executive. We also invited the head of these very high institutions. And, of course, we had several meetings. And after which, we went back to and we submitted the report. It looked at the report. We should go back and then reduce the fees further. Of course, we again called the meetings of the student union leaders of all the 10 tertiary institutions. Again, we called the meeting of the head of tertiary institutions, and then we reduced to about 61%, ranging from 61% to various percentage. In fact, in some schools, they will be paying as little as 29,000. And after which now we went back to the governor, and he said, okay, this is better. And again called the student union leaders, and we passed the information back to them, and of course, I addressed the press conference. Out of the 10 institutions, only one, which is Olabisi Onabanjo University, said they are not satisfied with that reduction. So they now protested, came to Abeokuta. And again, the governor met and the committee members, we sat down again with the leaders of OOU and other student union leaders. They now came with some fresh arguments that one, they must start their own from 2014. And it is not the only university that are still running in 2014. Other ones are also running, one or two. That's why only 1 out of 10 have completed that session. So, some till December, and OOU is still till January. So, and we said, we have agreed that it will commence from 2014, 2015 session, which is not a few weeks ahead.
So what gave room to...
And not only that...
Mr. Odubela, sorry, just so that we can hurry up.
And that they will not go back. And we said, look, who is one that was on introduction? Okay.
Mr. Odubela, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So what led to the violence? Because we do know that the school was shut down over violent protest that later turned violent at the governor's office or in front of the governor's office.
Yes, you see, that is why for me, I don't even understand what must have led to it. Because, look, they did not protest before the school fees were reduced. It is after it has been reduced now that they said they are protesting. That because the government said the reduction will take effect from 2015 session. I mean, you were there when we agreed on all this after the reduction that the commencement will be from 2014 to 2015, which is not about few weeks ahead. So for me, I mean, anyone that can answer that question, that why are they coming to protest even after the reduction of the school fees by the government?
Now, some people will also ask, did the state government promise that it was going to reduce school fees? I mean, why the increment in the very first instance if it was still going to reduce it later on?
You see, of course, the government did promise during the electoral campaign. Mm-hmm. But of course, we reduced it when we came in. You see, let me just tell you the scenario. When the governor was then, aspirant was campaigning, he did promise that he was going to reduce the school fees. But in between, before the election, the state government, the then state government increased the school fees. And after which again, they now reduced by 50%. So they haven't reduced now. The government now, really we came in, will reduce by 10%.
Which the students said was not sufficient.
The government have actually reduced the school fees by almost 60%.
Not 41.4.
Reduced by 50%, and then we came in, we reduced by 10%.
Well, the students of OOU felt that, the percentage reduction wasn't fair enough, because what you did across board was say that you're reducing school fees by 50% across board in all tertiary institutions, regardless of what they were paying before.
No, if we have to do that, I can tell you that some students in the schools then will not be paying anything at all. Because if we're talking about tuition fees, we have some schools that still pay 8,000, 12,000 as tuition fees. But the other things that are added are some people coming to the universities or the polytechnics. Some are being paid to the associations of those courses that the students are offering. So, for instance, we have some schools that pay as little as 8,000 as tuition fees.
So did you do a percentage reduction across board? Was that what you did?
Oh, yes, that's what we did across board. In OOU, for instance,
would you say that it's a fair way of reducing school fees?
Yes, it is, because we all sat together and we look at, let me give you an example. In OOU, for example, where the medical students pay about 300 and something thousand, we reduced that to the extent that some students will now be paid like 171,000. So you could see that with the government have done, let me even tell you that this reduction is going to cost government over 2 billion.
In the Faculty of Arts, for instance, the students will now pay 81,112 compared to the current 126,540, which is a 35.9% reduction. Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. Just like I said before, I said that it ranges. There's some that 6.7%, which is the highest. They have some that are 50-something, 40-something, 30-something percent. So it varies.
But the students say that first, affordability is a challenge for them. And one wonders, do you think that they are galvanized by how it played out in Lagos, where Lagos eventually had to revert to status quo?
No, you see, you can't compare us with Ogun State. First, we have 10 the highest tertiary, the number of tertiary institutions in the whole country. For whatever reason, that is the situation where we found ourselves. We have 10. Lagos only have about 5. And again, don't forget that, look at either the internal generated revenue Lagos is over 20 billion. We met, when this government came, it was about 750 million. And we are doing about 4.something billion now per month. Even at that, you can't compare what is Lagos. We have 10 tertiary institutions. We have the highest number of schools. So you cannot compare. And that is, here we've done some schools, we've done about 61% reduction. So
what about, if you let me come in here, Mr. Odubela, perhaps are there any palliatives for the students?
Oh yes, these are the palliatives. That is what we are saying. Don't forget that in primary and secondary school, we are doing free education. And the tertiary institution, of course, the government is subsidizing it by reducing to about 61%. It's a very high subsidy. So these are all the palliative measures. And don't forget that even in some schools, we are giving buses to the schools, which will also help in their transportation problems. The government is spending money too to ensure that there is accreditation cut across all the courses that are being offered in our institutions.